Welcome back to the Bad Influence podcast, where we show you how to take control of your life without the bullshit. I'm the bad influence that you need in your life, Jordan Banderas. If you've been tiptoeing around your own emotions and wondering why you feel disconnected, it's time for a wake-up call. Because unlocking your true self isn't a gentle stroll through a meadow. It's a goddamn thunderstorm. And guess what? If you want real transformation, you're going to have to ride the lightning. And that means you must embrace the intensity of the storm and use it to propel you forward. Let's be real here for a moment. Confronting that storm is terrifying. You're peeling back layers of bullshit, societal expectations like you should have a stable job by 30 or you should be married by now. Shame-inducing memories like that time you were publicly embarrassed or the time you failed at something. And all the shit you keep pretending isn't there. But on the other side of that chaos is the badass you were always meant to be. You might be asking, why bother? I ask myself this question. And I get it. Life's complicated enough without digging into old wounds, right? But here's the harsh truth. If you don't face that internal mess, you'll never feel fully alive. You'll keep seeking external validation, playing a role that isn't you, and silently wondering why you're so unhappy. So today, I'm pulling no punches and handing you the roadmap to break through that inner madness. We'll talk about how to recognize the signs you're hiding behind a mask, the emotional hurricane that comes when you finally say enough, and the practical steps to survive and even thrive in the eye of the storm. Here's the million-dollar question. Are you living for others' approval or for your own damn self? If you constantly shift your personality depending on who you're with, if you're ducking deep conversations, or if you got that annoying feeling that you're play acting through life, you're wearing a mask. It's not just you. Society trains us to conform. We're taught to blend in, to keep the messy bits tucked away, and over time, we lose track of who we are. That's why so many people look confident on the outside, but feel hollow on the inside. And let's be honest, avoiding your true self comes at a steep price. You end up numbing out, binge watching shows, overworking, scrolling social media for hours, or drowning stress with booze and late night snacks. Call it a storm, a hurricane, or a tidal wave, whatever image resonates with you. It's that gut-wrenching swirl of guilt, fear, anger, and sadness you'll meet when you start ripping off the layers. Oh yes, it's messy. Oh yes, it's uncomfortable. Oh yes, it's often heartbreaking. But guess what? Storms are temporary. The chaos eventually subsides, and what's left is clarity, clear skies, if you will. The big question is, will you ride it out or bail the moment the thunder gets too loud? Remember, the relief and empowerment that comes from facing the storm are worth every thunderclap. You got to first admit you're in a storm. No more sugarcoating. No more of that shit. If your life feels out of alignment, like you're drifting but can't pinpoint why, that's your first clue. Choose one area that feels most out of whack and start dissecting it. Baby steps matter here. Embrace yourself for the emotional roller coaster, because it's a wild one. And don't push the feelings away. Dive in, journal them, talk to someone you trust or hire a therapist if the waters run too deep. Newsflash, true strength isn't about plastering on a smile and acting like you're bulletproof. It's about resilience, self-compassion, and a willingness to adapt when life punches you in the face. And vulnerability? That's the gateway to deeper connections and deeper understanding of yourself. So, be encouraged and resilient, and remember that strength is built on self-compassion and adaptability. You can't be strong without being vulnerable. It's like trying to swim without water. Vulnerability lets you acknowledge your fears and shortcomings. And only then can you develop the inner fortitude to face them head on. So, how do you build that strength? Start by being mindful. Practice small acts of courage. Say no when you're stretched too thin. Set boundaries that protect your energy. And remember that being uncomfortable, it's a sign you're growing. This way, you'll feel empowering and in control, knowing that your strength is within your reach. And keep a crystal clear why in your back pocket. Why are you facing this storm? Is it to finally break free from self-doubt? Is it to create healthier relationships? Write it down. Stick it on your mirror and let it fuel your every move. So here's how to navigate this madness, because it is madness sometimes when you decide to take control of your life. First, ground yourself. Try deep breathing when you feel the tsunami of emotions rising. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and repeat. That's called box breathing. This simple hack flips your nervous system from panic mode to calm. Second, journaling. Grab a pen and let the raw feelings flood the page. No judgment, no censoring. It's like a detox for your mind. You'll be amazed at the clarity that emerges once you spill all that pent-up chaos. Third, keep your body moving. I'm talking walks, yoga, gym sessions, whatever gets you out of your head and into your body. Because physical exertion is a natural stress buster. If you're not already doing this, you're missing out on a built-in therapy session. And last but not least, get support. Whether it's a therapist, a trusted friend, or an online community, you need someone to mirror back your progress and call you out on your bullshit. No one conquers a storm alone. You need a lighthouse in that swirling darkness. A professional counselor can dive deep into your past traumas. A mentor can guide you with wisdom, and a best friend can offer that empathetic ear on your worst days. Sometimes your mind will spin in circles, stuck in old narratives. That's where an outside perspective disrupts the loop. They can say, wait, have you considered this angle? And suddenly, the storm clouds part a little. So don't underestimate the comfort of having someone in your corner. Even a simple text from a friend, hey, thinking of you, keep going, can be the life vest you need to push through another round of emotional turbulence. Now that we know how to ride the storm, let's explore the glorious payoff. That moment, you finally break through authenticity, where you stop giving a damn about external approval and live life on your own terms. Ever shed a heavy backpack after a long hike? That's how authenticity feels, like an instant weight lifting off your soul. You wake up one morning realizing you're no longer wearing a mask or tiptoeing around others' judgments. You're free. Clarity skyrockets. Decision making gets easier because you know who you are and what you value. Confidence soars because you're no longer relying on external nods of approval. Your sense of purpose, next level. But let's be real. Authenticity isn't a one and done deal. You'll still encounter triggers, old patterns that try to creep back in. That's why regular self-reflection is essential, like a mental tune-up to keep your authenticity engine running smooth. And guess what? When you're truly authentic, you attract people who vibe with the real you. Fake friends fade away and genuine connections flourish. You'll need to break down the roadblocks that often sabotage this transformation. Fear is a big one. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of losing friends who can't handle your truth. But think of fear as a neon sign blinking, "This matters." It means you're on the cusp of something worthwhile. But let's not forget cultural norms that reward conformity. You might clash with family or colleagues who prefer the old docile version of you. Breaking away from that can be painful, but it's also liberating. Remember, your life is yours to live. To keep momentum, break the journey into manageable steps. Tackle one limiting belief at a time. Celebrate small wins. A day spent being honest with yourself. A tough conversation you finally had. A boundary you firmly set. Lean on your tribe. Don't have one yet? Seek out communities, local groups, online forums, even support groups. Surround yourself with people who champion self-discovery, not self-destruction. And let me get personal real quick here. I like to be personal. You know that by now. When my wife got sick, our life flipped upside down. We lost our income, our home, and sank in debt. That was a storm that forced me to confront every insecurity, every fear I'd been stuffing down for years. And I'll be honest, there were nights I just wanted to numb out, ignore reality, and hope it fixed itself. But that storm demanded action. Step by step, I faced down each emotion, anger, despair, fear of the future, and used them as fuel instead of a dead weight. Turns out, I was stronger than I ever imagined. And that's what I want you to realize. You don't know how resilient you are until you test it. By confronting the chaos, I stepped into a more genuine version of myself. Someone who could handle adversity without falling apart. That's how I know this works. I didn't become superhuman, immune to suffering, but I did find a well of grit and authenticity that no storm could ever destroy. But let's pivot towards how you can unleash your own unstoppable badass. Keep checking in with yourself, even a 5-minute daily reflection where you ask, what's one emotion I avoided today and why? This can be groundbreaking. Tiny acts of self-awareness stack up fast. Also, reassess your goals and values regularly. Life changes and so do you. Authenticity is fluid, not static. Staying updated on who you are keeps you aligned with your evolving sense of purpose. Remember, the real you is worth unveiling. The more you integrate your newfound authenticity into your everyday life, the more unstoppable you become professionally, socially, and spiritually. And if you're still hesitating, think about what's at stake. Your happiness, your relationships, your legacy. So embrace the storm. It's the only path to discovering just how badass you truly are. So here's my final push for you. Step into the storm willingly. Stand your ground against the wind, the rain, and the crackling thunder inside your soul. You may stumble, you may fall, but each time you rise a little stronger. Don't let society's cookie cutter mold define you. Your story is unique, your spirit is unbreakable, and your emotions are the fuel that will drive you to personal freedom. Use them, channel them. And that's it for today. This is the Bad Influence Podcast, and I'm your host, Jordan Banderas. If this episode lit a fire under you, share it with a friend who needs a reminder that the toughest storms forge the mightiest warriors. Hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and join us on this mission to show the world that facing your inner chaos isn't just an option. It's the gateway to your most powerful self. You've got what it takes to ride the lightning. Now go out there, embrace the madness, and unleash the unstoppable badass you were meant to be. Let's shake things up and make some serious noise. The choice is yours.